I'm Caroline.
And I'm Megan.
And on this episode of the Songwriter Diaries, we have guest Nikki Giron. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
We're so glad you could come.
So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, well, I'm 21. I started this program like 3 years ago. I'm kind of like in between my senior year-ish. I've been playing saxophone since I was like in 5th grade, I think, and then I've been playing piano all my life. And I just sang, and I started writing at 14. And I love jazz and blues, and I like got into that more because I did jazz band in high school and all that. So I really was influenced by that. Yeah.
That's awesome. So how long have you been, so you've been writing songs since you were 14?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. When did you kind of realize that you were like, this is what I want to do?
So I think like my songs when I was 14 were really terrible, and I think we can all kind of relate to that. So I think when I started to talk to my band teacher, and I was like showing him stuff, and I was just getting really into it, and it was just pure like, you know, creativity. There was no like, I had no restriction at that point because I didn't really know what I was doing. And then my teacher showed me Tori Amos, and after listening to her, I think I was like hooked. Like, I really want to do this.
Tori Amos, yes. And so you play piano and saxophone.
Yes, I do.
What instrument did you start writing on first?
Piano, and singing mainly.
Then did you add in saxophone to certain songs, or do you write separate songs on saxophone?
Yeah, so that's a good question because I've been trying to figure out how to incorporate saxophone in my songs. So my upcoming project, there's like interludes and it's here and there, but since, you know, I'm like singing, I can't like play, so I've been like trying to figure out how can I make it like a simultaneous thing. So it's mostly like when we have like solo sections and stuff, then I'll like incorporate it, or like in this one song I wrote called Heart Behind Bars, like I put a saxophone section in it and then like had it. So it just kind of comes after I write the song. And I've been trying to like do my own project on sax, but it's like been hard to keep up on it. So
yeah, that would be hard because we were talking about this because we're going to ask you to play a song later or to have a song, just a recording that we can put in. But Megan was like, oh, but she plays saxophone. I was like, well, she can't play saxophone and sing at the same time, so I don't know how she would do that. So we were talking about that earlier. So what is your go-to writing process then?
So I don't like to force myself to write because I feel like if I do that, then it kind of just puts a negative connotation behind it. So I usually kind of wait for inspiration. I know everyone kind of has their own way to go about that, but it's usually like I'll get a melody in my head or I'll just be at the piano. A lot of the time I do have to like be in a practice room or like in a place where I feel like I'm not going to be distracted, and then I just kind of go for it. And I just write whatever comes to mind, even if it's dumb or whatever. And I like using like cool extensions, and like lately I've been looking up like cool R&B chord progressions and trying to write on those, and like I do that sometimes too. I never really do backing tracks or things like that because I like to kind of have like that interaction with the piano while I'm doing it, and like and I love jazz, so I just try to take those elements when I'm writing, always like try to incorporate that. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea to look up chord progressions. And I feel like I do that with like, I look up cover songs or the songs I want to cover, and then find and just kind of like steal progressions.
Yeah.
So that's cool. What form and perspective do you usually use with your songwriting? Like, do you write from like first person, third person, and do you use like verse chorus or AABA?
Yeah. So I use verse chorus a lot.
Same.
I found myself like getting into the habit. My most recent single that I released though is just verse chorus, and there's no bridge really. It's kind of like more of an ad-lib section, so it's more of a AABA.
Oh, cool.
And then in terms of like perspective, I usually always write in the first person. I've been trying to challenge myself and not write in the first person much because I know like Owen is like rewrite in the different tenses, and I have a hard I have a hard time. Me too. I love him too. I have a hard time like separating it because then it seems like and I know like some people are so good at doing that, like writing about stories, and I'm just so like not that way.
I love stories.
I'm so bad at writing stories.
Megan only writes on stories.
I love
pretty
it.
much.
I love it.
So do you have certain themes that you usually write about?
Yeah, well, I'll just be open. I was in a really like bad relationship last year since I was like 16. So I wrote a lot about like that heartbreak and like kind of like what I went through and how I felt. And then like I noticed when I'd like have a new thing to worry about or like new thing to hurt about, it's always usually about that. But then I got into a good relationship and I started writing happy love songs. Yeah, and like songs that like I didn't think would come out of me, like happy, like pretty love songs, like just sweet songs, you know. Like I wrote a song
What's
just
that?
kind of being about like a long distance, because my boyfriend lives in Colorado Springs, so it's kind of a long distance enough. So I wrote a song about it for singer-songwriter ensemble, and that was like the first real one I like finished, and it felt good to finally write something that wasn't really sad. Not so good all depressing, but
Oh my God, I know that feeling all too well. How much of your usual set when you perform out is originals versus like old-timey songs or covers?
So it just depends on how long the set is, and what I'm doing. So like this Thursday I have a show coming up at Motif Jazz Club.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I'm playing with my boyfriend actually, and I'm doing like he's a jazz guitarist. But thanks. So we're doing, it's a blues night, so we have to do mostly blues. So like in that case, it's going to be, you know, like 75 to 80% covers, and then, you know, the rest original. For the showcase I'm doing on Sunday, the Women's Crush, it's obviously all originals because it's, you know, like a 30-minute set. Yeah. So that's usually kind of how it goes. It just depends on the hour. So like when I do a 3-hour gig, it's always a lot of covers. Like I kind of do half and half or things like that. So it just really depends on the show.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate to that. 3-hour sets are...
Yeah, they're hard.
They're so hard. I had a 4-hour set like last summer. It was very difficult.
Like
I took a lot of breaks.
Push myself through this. I know, I've been there.
At that point, I always just feel like, why?
Yeah. I'm
Why
like,
am I here? What am
I'm
I
like,
doing?
no one's paying attention anymore. Should I just leave? And they're like, no, keep going. Okay.
So you perform out a lot, which is clear
Yeah.
because you have 2 shows coming up in this week. So would you consider yourself more of a performer or more of a songwriter?
So it's interesting because I feel like I have like the musician side of like, you know, I've performed on sax without singing, and then like also have like, you know, that experience along with the songwriter experience and like performing like my own stuff and then performing covers out. So it's like a mix of both, and it's a weird world because songwriters are a lot different than musicians and performers in general. And I think like trying to find that mix and making sure that you still kind of like stick to your songwriter roots while, you know, like utilizing the performance aspects and like trying to be more performer is also important, because I think like as a writer you have to put yourself in that perspective even if you're not gonna, you know, be the one performing the song. So it's like I'm open to, you know, both, and I identify myself as both, but it's hard to like find the balance sometimes. That's why I never like say like, yeah, like I'm a performer, but I'm like at heart, like I love writing, and like I think if it came down to it and I could never perform again, like I would still want to write. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Oh God, yeah. I agree. So you come from, you know, jazz and R&B background. What artists are your biggest influences for your music?
So people probably like Nora Jones and Ella Fitzgerald. Yeah. So I love
Nora.
I get compared to her a lot. Like, I think this one guy, I forgot his name, he came in like to talk to us, and he was like, "You're like an edgier Nora Jones," and I didn't know how to go about that. But
love that.
Even though it's weird, because I love Tori Amos too, and she's so weird, but she does everything, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, like people like that, and like I love Amy Winehouse, and yeah, and like Billie Holiday. Yeah, like all those women that were just awesome, and even like for like saxophone players, I love like Paul Desmond, like the sultry. You know, I love sultry like singing, and yeah, so that's like kind of where I feel like I drive myself to, and I, you know, like I just love like listening to it. But I love Ella and she just has a timeless voice that I could never get enough of.
Super timeless. That's a great word to use to describe her. What current songwriters do you recommend listening to?
Tori Amos, like always. I also think like I know that Bruno Mars doesn't write a lot of his own stuff, but I think the stuff that is being written for him is really incredible, and I really recommend, if you have not listened to the 24 Karat Gold album, to listen to it.
It's such a good album.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
like
really good.
it just has all these like influences on it, and it's amazing. I love her, or I love him. And then as far as like other modern songwriters, I'm trying to think like who I feel like, I mean, Norah Jones is a great example of one. I know she like works with some other people, and then I really love like Sam Smith, and like because I know he writes some of his own stuff, and even like I know everyone kind of hates her, but like Taylor Swift's also a really good songwriter. Honestly, and I think people should listen.
Businesswoman too.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I know there's all this stuff, but like at the heart, like she can write a good song, and you can hear it like. I mean, there's a reason why people like it. I mean, and then what's her name? Kali Uchis is also really good.
I don't think I've heard of her.
Yeah, so she has a lot of like older style to her voice, but it's very modern. And I've been getting more into the neo soul side of things, so I don't know like exactly everyone's name, but like all the neo soul stuff that's come out lately, I really like. And all those people are kind of doing it on their own.
Can you explain what neo soul is?
Yeah, so neo soul is this like really cool chords. So it's usually done with like a Rhodes piano or electric piano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you'll be able to hear it most of the time, and it's usually non-diatonic chords that they were using, and it has a certain feel to it that soul music has. Which, yeah, exactly. What makes you go, like, I like that. Like, if you think about, like, someone like Donny Hathaway and then, like, kind of, like, make it more modern, that's the best way I could kind of describe it, because there's a lot of, like, sharp 11s and 9s used in neo soul. I'm still figuring out how they go about it. And a lot of it is, like, weird.
Do you listen to
stuff.
Leon Bridges?
Yes, I do. I know who you're talking about. Yes.
I love that. Okay, so... big question. What are your overall goals as a performer and as a songwriter?
So I really just want to do this forever, like with my life, but I want people to listen to my songs. And I think like as songwriters and as performers, we struggle because there's this like fight for fame all the time, and it's kind of just the reality of it. But I've always wanted, like, I love Elvis growing up so much. I was like, I want to be just like him. Like, I want to be the superstar. Like, I'm a Leo. Like, you know, like I have this
Leo.
Yeah, like, so I have like this whole like mentality, and I love like the extra, and like, you know, like seeing the Freddie Mercury or the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, and like seeing the way, like seeing the way he was just so like confident. Like I think that's like my overall goal, is to have that like unbreakable confidence when I perform, no matter who I'm performing for, how many people. And you know, I want to like eventually obviously like make a living and just be like this like bad boss girl, like lady boss that does her own thing and like performs and plays out all the time, and people know who they are, and you know, not necessarily like the most famous person in the world, but you know, at least making a splash and people paying attention. I really want to inspire other people and like letting people know like it's okay to be a little bit objective and like not perfect, and you know, like to
I love all of that.
Passion. Yes. Thanks.
You are a lady boss.
Yes.
Yeah, you already are.
Oh, thank you.
So you said earlier you want to keep writing no matter what. Would you ever have anyone write songs for you if you got that fame in that stance?
I think I definitely would be open to it if I felt like the message was something that I would want to say. And I think that's what it would come down to.
Definitely. Well, we've come to the point in the podcast. Would you be willing to either play a song for us or share a recording with us in this podcast?
All right, so this song is called Heart Behind Bars. It's finished, obviously. There's actually a music video for this song. I haven't said that publicly yet. And basically the whole music video is like this idea of prohibition of music, and I wear a red dress, like sparkly dress, like Jessica Rabbit vibes in it. And I'm really excited.
Is it out yet? When is it coming out?
It's not out. So I need to finish the EP first. And once I finish the EP, it's almost done. I literally have like 2 more sessions ago. We just have to finish mixing and mastering the project. And then I have to start all the business stuff, which is going to be tough. But I'm thinking probably March ish, because I want to release this song as a single and then put out the video. But yeah, it's a fun song. It's a bossa nova.
Oh, so much fun. And you all are getting a sneak peek.
That's a for real sneak peek. Like, wow.
For real sneak peek. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you so
You're
much.
so multi-talented. It's
Thanks.
ridiculous.
Oh my god. Did you like produce, like help, you know, like produce most of that?
So yeah, like
arrangement-wise?
we originally had it was like guitar vocal, and then E-Man kind of came in, and because he's just loves like Latin music, and so like having his influence on it really helped. Like I did obviously the sax, and then my friend James Martin did the drums, because I had performed it with this band I played in briefly, and he was like, I want to do drums for it when you record it. So yeah, he did the drums for it, so that was kind of there already, and then E-Man kind of came in and did like the shakers and things like that.
I love those little I love those touches of the shakers and then the harmonies towards the end with the stops. Oh my god.
Thank
so
you.
Good.
Thanks.
So good.
Yeah.
So nice. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. Oh, it's so amazing. And sneak peek, keep an eye out for the EP in March because that's going to be happening and I'm going to have that on repeat for sure.
Thanks.
Yes. So this Sunday you're playing the Women Crush Music Denver Showcase.
Yes, I am.
That's so exciting.
Thank you.
And it's in Boulder, correct?
It is, yes.
Awesome.
With the
And
Laughing Goat.
Awesome. What time is that at?
I believe it starts at 8 p.m. It goes till 11.
Oh, night time.
Something
Love
like
it.
that. Yeah.
That's bad. It's my
Yeah.
bedtime.
Me too. It's okay.
I'll just drink a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And then you have a show this Thursday.
I do. It's at Motif Jazz Cafe. It's off of Cheyenne Mountain Boulevard in Colorado Springs.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of like Dazzle before Dazzle moved. It's kind of what it reminds me of.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really nice place. So if you're down there, you should come. It starts at 7.
Yes, and that's tonight because this is being released Thursday.
Oh.
So that's tonight. Everyone go out and see Nikki.
Yeah, go right now. If I get
So
there.
relevant.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Nikki, for
Thank
coming
you
on.
guys so much. That was so fun. Thank you. And keep
Yeah.
doing this. And girl power. I love it.
Yes, the lady bosses
Yes.
for the win.
Hashtag girl boss.
So we'll link everything of Nikki's down below in the description of this so you can go follow her on everything and go check out her music.
And her dog.
And her dog. We'll link her dog's Instagram down below. Oh, we love Nikki's dog.
Thank you. She loves you guys. She didn't know you.
Met her.
I know. She'll love you. I know it.
So a couple updates from Megan and I. You can listen to this podcast on both YouTube and SoundCloud, depending on where you're listening to it right now, which you better be. And also, it's the very end of New Song November. Megan and I have fallen off the wagon, but I posted a song on Monday for the first time in 2 weeks. Megan hasn't posted at all since like the 5th of November.
I gave up. I'm sorry, everyone. I gave up.
But I'm trying to get back on the wagon now, but I'm probably going to fail.
Think positively.
Okay, well, that's all we have for this podcast. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.